Well, my friends, hello. Hello and welcome. Sorry, I'm a moment late getting started. I had some technical things that happened, and I hope that if you're here, you will pop in with a comment because I don't see anything right away until you comment. So Bob is going to be here joining us. Bob has a bit of a broken neck after his adventure in Italy, so he doesn't really stand straight. He kind of leans back. So I'm going to set him aside, but he is going to watch because he is a painter. So good morning, Mary and S. Little. Nice to see you here today. I have chosen from my jar, I've drawn out some random prompts, and we're going to see how they work. So, yes, this is my I'm off to start a kerfuffle sweatshirt. I am a kerfuffle starter. So good to see everybody. It looks like I have it set up so I can see comments, so yay for that. They are small on my screen, but I can see them. Shapes. Delicate. Primary or majority of elements in a design are intricate or dainty. So I guess we're going dainty today. And this, by the way, is from my abstract wash and ink class. Not the jar, but the prompts. So in that, I created a whole bunch of prompts for composition and color and all sorts of things that you can then print out and use. Combo analogous. Well, I guess I'm lucky that it's analogous because that's what I have today. Adjacent to each other in the color wheel. Well, it would have been really awkward if I had pulled out complementary from the jar. And what is the third prompt for the day? Oh yes, tell me in chat where you're from. See if there's somebody near you. Element, water. Okay, well that's another fortuitous one. See how these things happen? It's like it was meant to be. Emotion, intuition, flow, subconscious. So I think that means I'm not supposed to think today. So there's that. I'm hoping, since nobody has said they can't hear me, that you can hear me and that everything is on audio-wise, etc. Because I have the worst trouble with live streams. As you may know, there's a reason I don't do them very often. So it took me like, I don't know, I can't even tell you how many clicks to get all of this set up because it wanted me to like rejoin YouTube and goodness knows what else. So this is the color for the day. If you did not know, it's World Watercolor Month. So happy World Watercolor Month. When World Watercolor Month came up with their prompts, Daniel Smith, for whom I am an ambassador, also came up with some prompts. And they did color prompts. And they only just gave them to us. So I was chasing around madly yesterday to find myself this Manganese Violet. I thought I had a tube of it somewhere. It's one of their newer ones, but I apparently lost it if so. And then the other one that I'm going to use with it is Quinacridone Fuchsia. And why am I choosing Quinacridone Fuchsia? It is because of my friend Lowell. Now Lowell, I don't know if she's here. If you are, shout out in the comments. Lowell is somebody that I met when I was in Italy, but she lives just a couple hours east of me. So she is hopefully painting today, and maybe she's joining us. She's also going to be doing the demo at Daniel Smith's Friday Zoom call, and you should come because she's fun. Well, anyway, I was asking her if she knew. She's like the color expert, and I was asking her if she knew what I should play with this tube because I have not played with it before. And I said, I just need a quick idea. So she said Quin Magenta. And I looked and looked. I do not have any Quin Magenta. And I didn't ask her until after I had already chased around, driven all the way to Seattle just for this tube. So I found out that Quinacridone Fuchsia is just slightly different color, but they're kind of similar. So we're going to play with that. And that is what we're going to do. And I've got some extra jars. I'm thinking I may decide to attempt to mix them. I don't know if I'll do that or if I'll just mix on paper. So I have my 2 colors ready. If you are painting along, just grab 2 colors that you want to play with and play. Because I'm going to just wet my paper with a nice big brush. So I see some people in Washington, Wisconsin, California, Texas, Minnesota, all over the place. So, yay, yay, yay. And yes, when I went to Italy, that kind of led to finding out what my duty, well, not my duty, it's not like I have to do anything, but what I'm supposed to do as an ambassador and how I find out about things, because I didn't know they had a Facebook Messenger group in which they chat incessantly all the time. It's like people around the world talking all the time and sharing and things, and it's been fun, even though I can't keep up with it all. But I went on there and as well on text message begging to see if anybody in my region, in my little area, had any of the Manganese Violet for today, because that is Daniel Smith's color for the day. And you know what I didn't pull up? I was going to put it in this software that I'm using. I was going to put a picture of the Daniel Smith prompts, but they are on my Instagram, on my Sandy Allnock Watercolor. So should you decide you want to go see the prompts, I don't think anybody should go chasing around town trying to find tubes of these colors necessarily, but it's a great time to get out your dot card. So if you have a dot card, that is a wonderful thing to play with all month long, because they're choosing seemingly some colors, like some of them I never heard of before. And some of them are, you know, colors I've painted with a lot. And ironically, for my my visit to the live stream next Friday on the 10th, I will be demoing. I decided I wanted to paint fire, and what color is the color for that day? Blue apatite. So I'm going to have to incorporate blue apatite into a painting of fire. So we'll see how that works. All right. I got it nice and wet. You can see my paper is a little on the lumpy side, but nice and shiny wet. And I'm going to see what happens here. Because this is supposed to be super highly granulating. So let's see if it is. It does feel a little bit like, you know, if you've ever used things like lapis lazuli, it kind of is a little on the gooey side until it gets kind of mixed up and gets going. So there we go. Well, what were my prompts? What was I supposed to do? Analogous colors. Let's see. Delicate shapes. Okay, that was not very delicate. So we'll have to work on that. Maybe not all the shapes will be delicate. And then we had analogous colors. Oh, and this one was the subconscious. So maybe I don't have to be all delicate if my subconscious told me to go bold there. Texas in the house too. Yowza. Ah! Okay, that was not something that had anything in it. It was just an empty vase. No worries. No worries. Yeah, if you don't have Manganese Violet, play with something else. I mean, it can be any color that you've got that you want to play with and see what happens. So we have to be intuitive and listen to our subconscious in this particular adventure today. So put color down here. And I want it to stay nice and wet because I have a slight plan, but I'm going to let my subconscious derail me. Oh, there we go. That's delicate. I do a little. I want to do a little underwash here. Now let's see what this Quin Fuchsia does. Another bit of irony. I went to look for Quin Fuchsia, and I have 2 tubes of Quin Fuchsia, and I don't remember ever using it before. So guess what? We're going to use it today. Imperial Purple and Queen Rose. Yeah, anything that is analogous, meaning it's close to each other on the color wheel. Oh, this looks very pigmented. So I think I'm going to be a little gentle with it and not use quite so much here. Oh, wow. Okay, that is definitely highly pigmented here. Interesting. Maybe I will just let it play. I'm going to drop in some here just to see what Lowell thought these two should do together. I am glad she told me about this color because I wanted to have something where I can get some really deep dark colors as well as some real soft stuff going on. Because what I want to do is have a base on my paper that I'm then going to doodle in watercolor. So whatever happens is going to set the tone for everything else. I love what's happening here. It's kind of cool, and then it gets really rich in there. The granulation on this is insanely cool. Look at that. Can you see that? Amazing. That is maybe one of the most granulating colors I've seen. That is wild. And I don't think Fuchsia does any granulating, but it's mixing with the granulation. So both of them are going a little crazy here. Way fun. So let's add a little more water. So is everybody ready to play along with World Watercolor Month? I am so ready after my drawing fiesta last month. If you did not know, I did 2 drawing challenges. Daily, twice a day. Now, I did some work ahead, I'll have to admit. So when I was doing my own challenge that I was posting, that you can catch up, you can see it on my Sandy Draws channel, or you could just go to art-classes.com/June, because that is the month that I created it, and all of the drawing challenges are there, and it's all meant for beginners. So some of it's a little harder than bare minimum beginners, but I saw lots of people participating. And I do have to go over and pick a winner because I had a prize for people who shared their drawings on Art Venture. And I have to pick one, but I'm going to give people a couple more days, I think, to get their submissions posted. So what other colors are you guys doing? Tell me what colors you're using. Would love to know. All right, let's put in a little more of this Manganese Violet. You might say you have no idea what you're doing. I don't either. I am just playing. When this is puddly, it just really moves nicely. So try to leave yourself some white space if you're going to do the doodling part with me, because you'll need some room. And it's going to be best if you can try to create some areas with openings. So I'm going to try to see what I can do about giving it a little bit of form, some intuitive form, so that I can have a flow. Because flow was one of our other words from the prompt. Now let's see if this paint will splatter, because it's a little on the, oh, there we go, on the gooier side. Ooh, okay, well that went a little bit much. Because my plan is to start doing some pen and ink style doodles, but with watercolor instead. Let's see if I can get some fingers going on. Now, if you get blooms, leave them, because they are going to be helpful. Any kind of backwash or anything that you get, because that is something you can really play with. Tilty, tilty, tilty. And let it run. Not much white space on yours. I told you too late, didn't I? It can be challenging to keep the old white space. But fortunately, since we had analogous for the prompt, even if you have all over color, it doesn't really matter, simply because it's analogous colors, so they should be fine together. I mean, they may clash visually, but they're not going to make browns, and that's good. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit more here, putting in some stronger. I want to see if this Manganese Violet does go dark, because it does seem to, as it moves across the page, do a little bit of softening in its value. And I think when I start doodling with it, that's going to help as well. So I'm going to switch back and forth between my two colors. Make kind of some lines that come down. I really want to spray it again, but I don't want to take a half an hour to dry it. So I'm going to do one more thing since I do have all this paint in these. I'm going to see if I can do something very bold. I know this thing said I was supposed to do delicate, but my intuition says go bold. So I'm going to do that. Just use a big brush and put some larger floods of color in here, just to have a bit more motion. And since my featured color is the Manganese Violet, I'm going to try to let it be the one that sings the most, while giving it this friend to play with. Do we need to dry before doodling? Yes. So, I mean, unless you want soft doodles, I suppose you can try soft doodling. I'm going to dry mine though. But you can do what you want because it's your intuition as well. All right, what I want you guys to do is tell me whether you can hear the hairdryer or not, and if so, then I'll turn the sound. I don't know if I can turn the sound off. Yes, I can turn the sound off. I know on Zoom, the Zoom mutes anything like a hairdryer when you're doing demos, so let me know if it's annoying. And if it does mute it, and I should still keep talking while I dry my paper, let me know. Pulled out some white space. Awesome. Okay, what other colors are there? Quin magenta and quin purple. Amethyst and quin magenta. Very nice. Now you can also move it while you dry it if there's something that you want to hold in place. You can hear me and the hairdryer good, so I can still talk to you. Excellent. That was why I decided to turn on my audio on my big mic, and I thought that might help. So who else is painting? What other colors are you using? Although if we're all drying our paper, then maybe nobody can hear anybody. I had a feeling I should have done a smaller painting, because this does take a long time to dry, especially when I kept spraying it with more water. This granulation is off the charts. Wow. Lowell is definitely right. So are you planning on painting every day during World Watercolor Month? You certainly don't have to. I recommend it, but even if all you do is swatch a color that day, sometimes even that is just a nice, pleasant way to do something fun for yourself as a small break in a very boring day otherwise. Originally, before I got the color list from Daniel Smith, I was thinking I wanted to do a 5x7 landscape every day and then put them in my shop to sell and give a portion to the International Child Art Foundation since we're fundraising for them. But a lot of these colors are not going to go well for landscapes necessarily. I might try a little landscape with this Manganese Violet later today and see if I come up with something like that. But there's a bunch of days with colors I'm not sure what I would do for a daily landscape with them. It's been still your big board. Yep, you might want to get a new one. Whoa, Julie, last July you made it through all but 3 days. Very good. See, this, I'm not sure if it's going to flatten out. It's pretty dry, but it's still lumpy. And for doodling, you want to have it as flat as you can. So I am hoping this is going to flatten a little bit more before I get done. I think that lump might be with me to stay. I think that's mostly dry. Now, if you decide you want to do pen and ink on top of yours, no harm, no foul, because pen and ink is fun as well. But you're going to grab the two colors that you've already used. Make some nice thick mixes with them, because thick mixes are going to give you some really strong doodling. And if you have any kind of liner brush, whether it's this kind of liner brush or this kind, whatever you've got that'll do long lines, if you have some long lines you want to start emphasizing, look for places where the watercolor didn't do something beautiful. Like right in here, I don't like how it kind of stopped right there. So I need to figure out this line, you know, kind of goes up, this whitish line, and then it turns and goes down here with the watercolor. So maybe I'll create a line in here that will pull it back down this way, but I want that to be lighter if I do that. So I'll use more water. And then figure out where you want it to go from there. If I want to end it down in here and get a little darker. I'm not very experienced with this brush, so again, playtime, right? Added ultramarine violet to brighten it. Oh wow. Alrighty, let's see. So I'm going to take some of the... So I've got some funky things that dried in here a little weird. And those, again, I can start to see what do I want to do to make them look more elegant. So I used paint here and then dipped my brush in the water. So hopefully it will delicately soften out and melt at the end of the page. I think I'll switch to the brush I know better. Because this one I have a better idea how to control it. I love making intertwined lines, so I'm going to do a little bit of that. If this one comes out well, we'll see if that happens. Then I will put this in my shop too. Not just the ones that I was planning on doing for landscapes, because I might not do all landscapes now. So I'll put them all in the shop. They'll all be in the shop the day after whatever day I paint them, just to give me some grace, some time. So now I've got a kind of a line coming in here. And that looks like a paint blob, so I'm going to try something else too, just for kicks, you know. I'm going to take the cap off and then see if I can make some marks that look like that so it looks intentional. I'm just barely squeezing because I don't want to get tons of thick paint on the paper, but a friend of mine said he just saw a show, an art show, in which the painter had painted fire, because I was telling you about my fire paintings that I've been practicing, and he said when he went to the show it was amazing because the painter had painted it in watercolor, but he just went straight out of the tube for all of it. So he got this amazing thick vibrant color. Now I would have just said, why not just use oils if you're gonna do that? But whatever. I would have loved to have seen that. Alright, so I'm also gonna see what happens if, now that I have this thick paint on here, what if I add water next to it? So see, with the doodling thing, you can doodle any way you want. You can doodle something thematic. So if you see a face in what you've painted, you can paint it into a face. You can add more washes, more shapes. Speaking of which, maybe I'll do that. Just in case there are people who are only going to be here for part of it, I'll show you, you know, kind of another way you can play. I'm going to clean my brush off entirely, have an extra jar of water over here so I can get really clean. And I'm going to put a sphere out here. And let that play into the water. That might not have been the best idea. We'll see. We'll see how it dries, and if it doesn't dry great, I can doodle right over it. It might be really interesting to do that. So it's lifting up some of the Fuchsia underneath of it. So I'm getting some different color mixes. Anybody still painting? Chat got quiet, so I'm assuming either you're gone or you're painting. See, I'm lucky I get to just talk while I paint, and you have to stop and type. Oh, you can hear the music. Good. I forgot to ask about that, if it was annoying or not. Thought it might add to the relaxed ambiance. Alright, so I'm going to grab a different brush. Like, play with all your brushes and see what you can do with them. Because even a brush might inspire something that you didn't really know was coming. I did say I was going to try maybe mixing some colors, so let's see if we take a little bit of the purple. I'm going to take a smaller amount of the red. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'll let it go crazy, so I can get some dark in the reddish purplish. This kind of thing is good for practicing your brush strokes, practicing color mixing. Don't worry about the outcome. Worry more about the flow. Well, hey, Magdalena. Nice to see you. Let's see if I can hide this kind of strange line. Something happened there. Dog hair. Man, that hair won't go away, will it? The joy of animals. Dot, 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 dot. I see kind of a circle here that's formed, so I think I will take advantage of it. Now, if you have sprayed your painting periodically, I found like a very wet area in here, so be aware you might need to go and re-dry. Welcome, Diane. Always welcome here late, even if... oops. Well, look at that. I have an extra bloop on my paper. Haha. That's one reason I don't like these kind of liner brushes all that much. So for those who are arriving late, we started with just a loose expressive wash to just get the paper started. Dried it, and then working on whatever colors you're painting with. Just let the colors flow. So I have Manganese Violet and Quinacridone Fuchsia that I'm playing with. Join this up with the circle and maybe make a couple of rounds of it. Because my circle wasn't truly round. So you can disguise it by making it look like you meant to do that. Haha. Because no one but you and I know that it was not intentional. Cat hair does stick out of the side of everything, doesn't it? It's just all over the place. And I don't even have a cat. So I think mine is dog hair, but sometimes I wonder, it feels more like cat hair. Like somehow I went somewhere and picked up a cat hair stray off of some person that I walked past. This thing feels kind of like a moon. Wonder if it needs some more dollops of craters. So tomorrow's color is Quinacridone Rose. What would you paint if you were painting something in Quinacridone Rose? And I forget what the prompt is from World Watercolor Month, but we'll have to figure out how to paint something in Quinacridone Rose that fits the pattern, or fits the prompt. I'm a little worried I'm going to lay my arm in some paint here, so. That came out really, really, really thick where I squeezed the paint on. Holy moly. A language is a prompt for tomorrow. Originally, when I was thinking about that, I thought I might paint something from another country, like Italy, since I've just been there. But I don't know if language and Quin Rose. To give that a bit of thought. Glad I have all my brushes. I keep changing my mind about what I want to do. And maybe that means I'm not being very intuitive because I'm changing my mind. Shouldn't intuitive mean you just go for it? This is wet still. Run and get paint tubes. Gotcha. So I'm thinking a bit of what I would do if I had a pen in my hand instead of having a brush. For my normal style of doodling. So whatever your normal way of doodling is, do that with your brush. You might have to figure out which one is going to accomplish it best. You might also need to figure out which color is going to be dark enough to serve as the black. But if you Zentangle, like, you know, if you're that kind of doodler, then you could Zentangle on your painting, but do it with paint instead of a pen. I know normally if I were doodling with a pen, I would be constantly going back and fixing some of the shapes and things that didn't come out great in the wash. That's one of the fun things about doing the doodle part, is you can fix all that stuff. But I'm having a little trouble getting my brain to think that way. Because my brain is like, watercolor, watercolor. So, figuring that out. But I think it works great for unplugged as the prompt. Because I am not plugged into anything I normally do. Just having fun. But one thing watercolor can do is allow for both really strong doodling with a dark mix of the color, and then also a more watered down version. So I can create something that's a little softer too. That you can't do with pen and ink. I love that little feature right there. I hope I can make something like that across the whole piece. I don't know if I'll be here on YouTube to do the whole thing. Might be a little ridiculous to have a live stream that's quite that long. No one will watch that nonsense. I'm loving this area right in here. It kind of feels like a bouquet of flowers inside a little something or other. I don't know. Kind of fun. Let's doodle with a little bit of the red. Let's see what comes of that. So I've got a place here that looks like there's a burst of something, so I'm going to emphasize that. So do you guys watch many live streams? I typically wait for the replay and then I scrub through it because I don't have time for lots of long, slow things. I've done some, or been to, attended some doodling live streams because that's helpful to just spend time listening to somebody else yammer while they just grab a pen and make lines. But that usually means I'm getting something done. Tim does 2.5 hours regularly. And do people stay the whole time? Man. I suppose I could stay. Because I do want to try to finish it today since it is the day. Oh, look at that. That turned into some little leafy thing. I did not expect that, but I'll take it. Maybe I'll do more of that. That's kind of cool. if you guys can't stay the whole time, then do promise me that you'll come back and kind of zip through the end, because YouTube, what they do is they base the algorithm stuff on how long people stayed. What did they watch? So if you watch toward the end and keep, just scrub through, leave a comment, scrub through more, leave a comment, because then they think that you watched the whole thing. I think that works. I've been told that that works. So feel free to do that if you need to go pick up the kids or do something else. Otherwise, I would love the company hanging out whilst I do this crazy doodle thing. I love this! Is that not just cool? That part is amazing. This part, not so much yet. I wonder if I should jump over there and see if I can inspire it with what I did over here. Maybe I'll do that. Turn this puppy around. I wonder if I turn it this direction, if I'll have a little more inspiration here. Okay, so leafies. Where would I put leafies if I were to stick them in here? That little dollop of my accidental drip is still wet. How is that still wet? I'm still drying it and it's still wet. Goodness gracious, that is one stubborn dollop of paint. It was when my brush was super, super wet, so it just really left things behind. All right, I'm going to continue this thing and see if I can tie that in over here. I've got a whole bunch of that Fuchsia in there. I need more purple, not just the fuchsia. These need to be longer, a little more elegant. So a few things are launching today on the website in case anybody has signed up for any of it. One is the nature journaling class. The July 1 lesson is up. So whether you're the yearly student who signed up for the whole year, or if you signed up just for summer, there are videos for you. I went to the beach for you. And I have some very easy techniques and then kind of a landscapey thing that's kind of fun. And then 3 new classes launched today. Hopefully I got everything public in the right ways when I set it all up, because I was doing everything late last night. I was up until 1:30 getting it all ready. The Majestic Mountains class is available right now. If you want to see the first lesson, you can get signed into your account. But you could also do something that's an experiment, because I'm going to be on a Zoom call with students, and you can watch it together and you can paint along with it. We can pause it if anybody gets stuck behind and need a break, and sit and talk while we pause for people to catch up, and then have Q&A during and after. So if you're somebody who's always wanted that in a class. This is an experiment. I'm curious to see whether or not I can even get a video to play. I tried it years ago on a Zoom call, and it didn't play the audio. And I don't know why that is, and I hope that they've changed that by now. We'll see. And then 2 other classes launched. One is the facial features class, learning to draw eyes, noses, and mouths. And that class, I believe, is complete. I do have to go back and check it today to make sure. But that was the big one I was working on last night, in addition to the portrait class. It's not a watercolor portrait class, it's graphite. And in that one, only the first 3 lessons are done. The others I have to go get started finishing after I'm done here. Because I had fireworks issues. Because my dog Vienna just gets so panicked. And in a couple of the video voiceovers, you get to hear her. Because she hears a firework go off and she just absolutely comes unglued. And after a bit, she becomes very stressed out to the point of, like, the only thing that'll calm her down is if we either go sit in the car, so the noises are dull and she can't hear much, and she's perfectly fine. We just sit in the garage in the car for a couple hours. Or if I sit on the sofa and just hug her really tight, which means I can't get much work done when that happens. So I didn't get that class completely done. The filming is all finished. I just need to finish the last voiceovers for a couple of the portraits. But the first few are done. And that is good. Because I figured anybody who's in the class will have plenty of work to keep them busy. Yeah, these leaves are making me very happy. And I kind of want to get back to doing some of this stuff too. And I need to kind of switch my brain up. This is one of the things that happens when, like, we start doing one thing and we just do the same thing over and over and over again. I wanted to have some reflection of this on the other side, and I do want to do some of the red and purple together. But a lot of times we just get into a mode of doing the same thing over and over again. And I want to try to find a way now to start branching out from that. So I started going the other direction as well. And I think I want to do some bigger scale so that they'll be related, but they won't be the same. If that makes sense. Because the same thing happens when we do regular doodling, when we are painting things. You know, there was one time somebody was painting a scene that had a whole bunch of rocks on a beach. And I was in a Zoom call. We were doing critiques, and she was like, I don't know what's wrong with my painting. And all her rocks were triangles. They were all the same triangle all over the beach. And that's what our brains do. They tell us to just do the same thing. And then we end up with something that's just an over and over again repeat. Now, sometimes for the art, that is what's called for. But a lot of times, that just is a way to get boring really fast. So that'll add a little something different. I think I want to finesse the shapes a little bit. I'll drop some purple in. All right, I gotta start tackling some of this because this is starting to work, but I've got some strange things going on here that need some help. So is anybody working on some art other than watercolor? Because you could be sitting in your studio working on anything and just hanging out, listening to music, chatting. I think I'm going to try to bring some darks up in here to disguise the fact that this got really dark around one edge. I don't know if explaining all these steps that I'm taking are any helpful, anywhere near helpful to anybody. I hope so. I think I'll do some negative painting around some of this. I think that would be good. And creating the negative painting around the shapes is going to make it look like some of the shapes are popping forward. So it's a fun contrast to everything else that you've got going on. Lurking while working. And late as usual. You know, working is highly overrated but necessary, so I endorse lurking and working. That is okay by me. And I promise not to tell your boss. I shall say not a word. Hopefully when you get home you can sit down and do some painting after work. So now I've got these interesting shapes that are related to these, but they're not these. They're just a different form of it. So it's all about finding ways to connect different elements while remaining kind of loose and intuitive and playful. So let's tackle some of these other areas now. I like that the Manganese Violet does get dark, because when I was talking to Lowell, she said that it's, you know, it's a very washed out kind of looking color, and it's best if mixed with something. I find it to be like absolutely gorgeous when it's not mixed with anything. And I don't know, sometimes, you know, if we don't play with it to see if we can get it really deep and dark. I mean, this whole strip here was direct out of the tube. So I do know that I can put it direct on the paper that way, but I can also paint it and get some of that same, oops, okay, don't lean in the wet paint, Sandy. But I can get those different values. But you know what I'm thinking I'm going to have to do at the end, which might get you to come back later if you need to, is I might have to put some gold ink, because I think that would sparkle this thing right up and be absolutely amazing. But that will be after I get the majority of the doodling done. I'll see if it still needs it by then. Because maybe I will have fixed everything before that. Hard to say. Colored pastel chalk pencil on top. You're gonna frame it. Awesome! Oh, I'm so glad. Which lessons were you working with? Is it something from a class, or was it from the June challenge that you were using? Sorry, if there's somebody watching on the replay. It says, this morning I continue to sketch with your lessons, and then I put colored chalk pencil on top. I'm going to frame it. I couldn't have done it without your lessons, so do let me know which lessons that was, and send me a picture when you get it framed. I'd love to see it. When I was at the pub with my artist pals yesterday, and yes, I did take a break to go to the pub with my friends, because I was so tired. I was punchy. I was absolutely rummy from getting all those classes ready. But we were talking about what it is that makes teaching such a joy. And one of the guys, Dave, he's 85 years old, and he used to teach life drawing. So we were just talking about the things that it's hard to communicate to students. And it felt like all of a sudden I felt part of the continuum of art, because he was teaching, you know, many, many years ago, and had the same troubles with people not understanding, like, perspective. Like, how do you explain perspective in a way that people get it? And I suddenly realized, you know, it's not just, you know, because I kind of think sometimes, is it just this generation that there's, you know, people that don't get it? But no, it's every generation struggles with that same thing. And it was just really fun talking to people who have taught. And he was asking me all about, especially online teaching, because he said, you know, people told me I should teach online, and I don't know about that, because he likes the student interaction. And I said, I like the fact that students can keep learning while I'm not with them, because when you're in a physical class, which is great, like once the class is over and everybody goes home, you're not with them to keep them going. But when it's online, then it's very possible to keep inspiring people, and they can keep working while I'm out at the pub. Okay, so it was one of the June challenge ones. Awesome. Which one was worked so well with the pastel pencils? I think a lot of them could, but Curious which one got you excited. And by the way, feel free anytime if you have a friend who wants to learn to draw and they just want something to get them going, or somebody who just needs a kick in the butt to do a little something every day for a while, send them to that page, the June page on art classes. Because I'm hoping that will be something that'll be there for a long time for people to try out. And I mean, even for people who have drawn before, it's not just for beginners. You could do fancy drawings of each one of those, not just simple ones. All right, I got to break this up and do something else. These are all feeling very similar. So it's time to shake things up. I think I'm going to make this section look like it's going underneath of the other one over here. Get some bobbing and weaving going. Well, I can say I'm not a big fan of the Fuchsia, even though I bought it twice. At least not with the purple. Maybe that was the thing that makes it not great. But you know, it's good to know that. As one of my teachers once told me, when I took a class and I was like, this class did not really do anything for me. And my teacher said, you know, sometimes a class is there to let you know not to do that thing again. So I've always appreciated that, even when I take a class that I did not get a kick out of. Or I try a technique that I didn't like all that much. Then, okay, I'm not really sure that weave worked. That did not seem to do anything. Maybe it needs something else coming out here. I'm using a lot of Manganese Violet in order to get it this dark. Yowza. I'm curious to try this color with some other things. Maybe I will try a landscape with it for sure. Because it's got so much granulation, it's insane. And it makes the other colors around it look like they're granulating. So it just, I don't know, really different. Alright, I gotta do something in here to change that. Maybe this flow needs to come around there. Maybe that's it. Let's try that. Okay, I had some funky paint on the brush there. Whoopsies. There we go. Something more delicate. Oops. Okay. That was not so good. I picked up some paint. Hadn't expected to. But I guess now I'm going to have a dollop of that. Give it a little movement. Maybe I need another little dollop out here. If it's going to insist on being there, let's let it really be there. What am I doing? Get into it and get out of your head, Sandy, and into your paint. Problem is my head thinks about things like composition and all that and wants to go do certain things and definitely needed some bigger shapes here. I'm not sure if I needed that shape, but is what it is. Some value difference out here. Oh, look, we have a fish. That happened the last time I did an abstract online. I had a fish show up. Maybe that's a thing. Something in my subconscious. Oh, sorry, can't wait to see the upper corner. There we go. There is what is existent now in the upper corner. I'm going to leave some gaps in between the doodles so they definitely feel like they're twisting as they go up and over. I want some more value in here somewhere. I feel like I got peanut butter in my chocolate and chocolate in my peanut butter now. My pan with, or my dish with the colors mixing. Let's go over here and get the purple. Just got a hint here at some of those other leaves. But again, trying them in a different way, kind of turning a different direction, coming out of the darkness instead of crossing the light, that sort of stuff. So I'm always looking for ways to reflect the same things, but to change them in such a way that they don't get boring across the page. I've got one boring area in here, but I don't really want it to be all linear, so I think I'm going to let this corner right here get a little more expressive, a little more spontaneous. This is also going to give me some smaller detail. This brush, this is my vegan brush, and it gives me these streaks if the paint is mixed just right, which is kind of nice. So you can create that yourself by just putting some splatter down and connecting it, but see how boring that looks compared to letting the lines form because of the paint and the brush flicking stuff. So now I'll see if I can add more and cover the messy line that I just added there. Or maybe I'll just make it a little more elegant and let the splatter be around it. Ooh, I know what I'm gonna do. Hold on just 1 second. This is a Copic airbrush. I could have done this with a regular airbrush, but this is the one that's hooked up. And I'm gonna push the paint while it's wet. So it's going to do these fingery things. Now you could do that with a straw if you have a lot of breath. But if you, like me, are challenged in having quite that much hot air, which I know is surprising to people, but you could use a straw to try to create that. But the randomness of the airbrush is pretty phenomenal. I think I need just a little bit of dark in there to cover up what is now a huge blobby mess. Might even need to do this again. Oh, finger painting. Here we go, finger painting. Whee! Let that do some dry brush. Oh yeah. That's even better than those little fingery things. Somebody's gonna buy this painting and have all kinds of little treasures to find. You could use that as a dot card. That's how much paint is there. So let's see if I add some of that roughness somewhere else here. Oh yeah. Now we're getting intuitive, right? A little bit of finger paints. I will have to put a link in the doobly-doo to what the music is. Let me see if I can find it on my tablet here. It is by the Chill Jazz Station on YouTube. And it's like 11 hours of this chill jazz music. I think it's AI music, I believe. Which makes me sad, but I can't find actual musicians who will do 11 hours worth on one or on one video, so I can just turn it on and it acts like radio with no ads. You do have to be careful with some of those because some of them do have like giant ad breaks in them. So if you don't pay for YouTube Premium, you might get some interruptions. Okay, those were fun little additions. It is feeling really chaotic down here though. Anybody else feel that? Because I'm kind of wondering if I've overdone it. Perhaps I shall bring the chaos elsewhere. I might do like a big wash in that area and do something else to it. We'll see. I do love a lot of this, so I don't want to get too chaotic, which is why I'm kind of thinking the wash there leading up to this more simple area might be helpful. But what I think would be also suitable here is some of the dry brush that I did over there. Just getting a little bit on my finger. And this is what a watercolor stick could also do, except with my finger I can be a little more gentle with it and create some real interest here. Something else I was just thinking of too. Maybe this is two paintings. Maybe that's one painting and that's one painting. Just with a different flavor. I don't know. I am just playing, man. Look at that. That is nice. Oh, man. That goes right with all this texture so well. But I think maybe it can start tying some of these other elements in that got very painterly. And leave some of that painterliness, but add all of this to it. Maybe that's my practice painting and this is the real painting. What do you think? Oh. This is really working. I'm able to get some really nice deep darks, which is what I want, but also get that dry brush texture that goes so well with all of this granulation. Oh, this is making me happy. Pull that down and around. And my finger also has more control over the angles and the curves. I feel like a little kid. Getting excited about silly little things. Like finger paints. So the drier the paint is, the more dry brush you get. And if you want more density, it won't be as dark, but a little dip into something wet can create those kind of transitions. When my mom used to do abstracts, she said she couldn't explain what she was doing, so I'm trying as best I can to tell you kind of why I'm doing one thing or another and what's bringing me joy. So hopefully that's helpful. But I always wished that Mom could have explained to me what she did, because she was so good at it. But I have a feeling this kind of just sitting around playing is probably what she did an awful lot of. Because all she would describe is having done, you know, she said she'd start working on something and she'd, you know, her teacher would come around and say, okay, well now try picking up your palette knife and do something with it. She said he never told her what to do with it. He just, you know, they taught them a bunch of different types of brush motions, and then they had to just figure out for themselves what to actually do with it to bring it into life. I think that's a separate painting. It totally is. What do you think? That is so different than that. So unless I were able to figure out something over there, I don't think these go together. That's what I think. Any feedback? Is there anybody still there? I don't have YouTube pulled up, so I can't quite see how many people are watching still. Because what is this? Is this an hour and a half we've been sitting here? It has been a long time. See, this is why I do edited videos for you, even if you don't get every step of the way, because it can take a long time. Especially when it's a lot of playing. So I think I'm going to do something to either kill this entirely and preserve that, or help this lead to that. I don't know which it's going to do. I'm just not sure. But I think I'm going to do it anyway. So I will be right back. I need to go get a tube of paint. I don't have a tube of what I wanted. So we're going to use a stick. Because I do have a stick of Lunar Black. And I'm going to consider this side on over here as my play side, where I'm just going to try something. I'm willing to sacrifice it if this does not work. I suspect it may not. But we'll find out. I'm hoping that this can be done in 2 hours. So I've got like 25 minutes to figure this out. And to get some ink on it if I want to throw some gold ink there. I also have this that I kind of would like to do something with. I don't know, but let me see what happens with this first. I was hoping to just have a big tube I could squeeze. Maybe this is me missing pen and ink. I just want to have some black in here. Maybe that's, I don't know. Who knows? Well, I don't know if this is enough yet. But I'll try it in a small way and then see if I get bigger with it. I do have a ton of paint over here, all that paint that I squeezed on, so... Squeezed on or squoze, whichever it is. And I'm just going to say goodbye to this side and be willing to say goodbye to it. Using a stick because I couldn't find a tube. A jellyfish playing with bubbles. There you go. Trying to make this thicker. As soon as I put water on my brush, this lost its oomph. So I just want to get a sense of whether creating a black that's going to go into white is going to make a difference, or whether I'm just going to quit it and cut the painting in half. Because I just felt like I overdid this side. Definitely overworked it. But I found out about the finger painting on this side, so I am grateful for this half of the piece of paper. Yeah, I think this is going to be trashed. I think so. Because I don't think it's going to get black enough to do what I was envisioning. And I do want to be sure that I don't pull any of that black into here, because I'd like to save that half of the painting. But who knows? Maybe I can rescue this in some other way. Maybe this will be a black and white piece that I'll do in pen and ink and add some stuff to it. So you're definitely cropping yours. I'm not the only one. But you know, that's what playtime is for. Playtime is to just see what happens. So maybe this will be on Sandy Draws. On Tuesday, I'll do something else with the rest of this. That could be. So I'm going to leave that for now. I'm going to let it just sit there and be a big black thing. And just so I can get an idea of what I could do here. Just crop that down. See, I think I could do some pen and ink stuff in here and make that a pen and ink piece. But I want to do something here so that this doesn't look like it's just floating by itself. Everything else here is so cohesive that I feel like that just needs a little something, whatever that something is. I think it needs more of the Manganese Violet. But I want some without all of the all that fuchsia in it. Because I think I needed overall a little less of the fuchsia in here. Brave, while fearing it might be a mistake. Well, that's what playtime is for. It's not for just sitting there doing stuff that you know is going to work. Because, I mean, I know I can do this stuff. I didn't know that this finger painting was going to be such a joy. But, you know, that would just be doing what I already know to do. So why not try doing something else very different? So Got my brush in super clean water in my other jar. It's probably going to lift a little of that Quin, so I'm going to be gentle with it. And then I want to have something that has a swoop that goes up that direction. Find a way to continue it down here. Some dark up in that corner. I wonder what would happen. Now this is another what would happen if. I'm going to try going into really wet paint with the tube itself. And then a little more finger paint. Okay, the finger painting on here is not going to give me dry brush because the paper is so wet. So I will dry it so I can do more in there. Well, I'm glad you think I'm brave, but I'm just someone who plays. There's always something in me about that last move that I make on a painting, on a drawing. When I just do one big bold thing, sometimes it works really, really well, and that's the thing that makes the whole work come together. And then there's other times when it's a big disaster, like that is, and I never know if it's going to work or not. I just don't usually do them live on YouTube. Yes, Marie, I think we all should play a whole lot more. Because playing is where the life is. Let's see. All right, a little more dry brushy. All right, get a little paint on your finger, Sandy. There we go. I might have to try some of this on my fire paintings because I think that could be amazing. So make sure you mark your calendars for the 10th, Friday, July 10th, because I'll be demonstrating fire on the Daniel Smith Zoom call. They do these every single Friday, well, unless everybody in the Daniel Smith org is traveling, like when we went to Italy. They skipped one. But they're every Friday, and you can just join in on Zoom. Zoom is actually better than Facebook, but you can watch it on Facebook too. And then eventually they put the replay on their YouTube channel. I'm getting a little reflection here, so I think I need to turn this around so I can see what I'm doing down here. Or is it up here? This painting might be. I don't know which direction it's going to be. And you know, it probably doesn't matter. Because what the heck, man? Not gonna matter. Okay. That did more of what I was planning. Well, not planning. As if I planned any of this. You guys see that I did not. Just making it up as I go. But I do need more of the fine detail up in that corner. Not a ton, because I want the focus to be right in here. I'm going to get the brush that does all the lovely flicking. I didn't want a big dollop right there. That was not the intent. I just dripped. So here I'm trying to make this go in the direction because this brush flicks back this way, and I want it to go in the direction of this curve. And now I'm getting little flicks all over there, which is also kind of fun. So it is what it is. Stay tuned on Tuesday. I'm going to try to rescue that on Tuesday. That is a wonderful thing to do. Because I was trying to figure out, I wanted to do some pen and ink on my drawing channel. And that, I think, is going to be it. And if you do want to stick around and see, I'm going to do a little bit more to that, I think, in advance of, or maybe not, I don't know. I don't want quite that many dots down there. I either want that to be naked or I want it to be something, so we'll see. Maybe a little bit of the red dots. Not a ton, but just a bit so it makes sense that there's the red up in here. And then I'll do it with just water and a little mess on my brush, so that will be lighter dots. It should dry significantly lighter. My kerfuffle shirt has Manganese Violet on it. So Marie, you said you like it this way, horizontally? Is that what you were referring to? Alright, I am going to cut this apart, but before I do, I'm going to take a picture of this and use it for the thumbnail for this video, so people can look at that and go, oh my god, do I want to watch that? Maybe I shouldn't put it for the thumbnail and then nobody would. And I can't use my phone since my phone is filming this, so let me see if I can make the iPad take a picture before the disaster ends. All right. Get a ruler and chop this baby. To be straight, I probably should mark it, right? Pencil, pencil, where are you? So I think right in here. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Let's cut the whole thing off because otherwise we'll have a border on 3 sides and not on the 4th. Okay, I think I need a new blade. Hello, blade. Are you going to cut? No, you're not going to cut. Okay, new knife. That's better. This music is nice, but it feels out of sorts for hacking at your painting. It's like la 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 la, and I'm just whacking away at my paper. But, you know, is how things go. I guess my kerfuffle shirt is pretty appropriate for today, but it says I'm off to cause or start a kerfuffle. What is it? Yeah, cause or kerfuffle. So this is me kerfuffling. Perhaps that should be the name of the painting. The Great Kerfuffle. Unless anybody else has a better name for the painting when I post it in my shop. All right, so there is what I'm going to do on Tuesday. I'm going to rescue that, and we'll see what happens. Ah. Sorry about that. I don't know if I just made a big loud noise. Getting weirdly blown out. This is more has a little bit of a grayish thing to it as opposed to anything else. Shall we put some gold on it? Kind of thinking a few touches of gold might be good. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I can't decide. The other thing, maybe this is one of my 5x7s and I didn't know it. Oh, and when we get done, I'm going to show you something else that I just got that's going to be the pièce de résistance on top of this painting. All right, gold ink. So this is my favorite little gold ink. It needs continually to be mixed and everything, but it is Winsor & Newton gold. And I'll put a link to that in the doobly-doo along with these other colors. But it needs to be shook up a lot because even like from the time that I mixed it until right now, it's settling in the bottom. You can kind of feel it. It's thick in the bottom part. Oh, giant lump. Okay. Look at that delicious, gorgeous gold. All beautiful. And I'm going to add just a few little fun things. Is that brush not my, I thought that was my second smallest brush. But apparently I need a smaller one for even finer details. So, little gold shimmeries. I love, love, love this ink. And when I get into using it, I usually put just a little bit of water in the some sort of cup, and then I save all of that excess water and I let it eventually dry down until it becomes like a gold watercolor again. Because it'll all settle in the bottom. You can keep removing more and more of the water that's in it, and you can end up with just some really fun things to paint with by saving that. See, there's little gold on the leaves. And that's what I was thinking the gold could do, is in some of these areas where it kind of got heavy, I'm going to put in some gold. And break that back up. Fold it and make it a card. Are you kidding? This is frameable art. That's no card. Well, the other one might be a card. That one might turn into a card. Maybe that one needs gold ink too. We shall find out on Tuesday, won't we? Should that one be live streamed too? I haven't warned anybody that a live stream would be coming over there. Oh wait, I can't do that on Tuesday. Or wait, no I can. I was thinking I had something else going on Tuesday, but I don't. Not anymore. My usual Tuesday thing is on hiatus for summer. See little shimmery leaves. Little extra bits. See, it's already getting to the point where the liquid on the top of the surface doesn't have as much of the gold in it. So it needs mixed up already. Just always takes a little extra effort, but it is so worth it. This is one of the best golds that I've ever found. Now that I have some all over the brush. Nope, that brush is not going to, well, it's spattering a tiny bit. Maybe if I get it wet. Okay, so now we got a little gold sprinkles. They will be very subtle. A little bit of joy for whoever buys the painting. get some little gold fun. Oh, come on, gold. You can do it. You can splatter. No, it's not actually the gold that doesn't want to splatter. It's the brush. Because the brush is too tiny. Looks like the wind. Yes, it does. I would love to have a wind that looked like that color and that kind of flow to it. It'd be kind of fun. Okay, so did we decide which way is up on this? Because my last step is something new that I just got in the mail. And I'm so curious to try it on watercolor paper, and I haven't tried it on watercolor paper yet. But I need to know which side is right side up, so that I'll be able to use my fancy embosser stamp. So it is a very exciting little tool I just got for myself. And it does a round thing. Let me show you on the gold stickers. They sent me gold stickers too. I want to start, and I have to look up like, okay, what do you normally do? Where do you emboss this thing? Because I don't know where that would be on a painting. Do you just like plop it right there? And I'm going to try it because I just need to know. But you put your thing in between there and then punch it basically. It's basically a stamp. And let's see, let me get it mostly centered. I'm not looking straight overhead. I'm looking sideways because you're here. And then press this little thing. And it does tell you which side is the upside and the downside. And it has my logo and says original artwork by Sandy Allnock. And I want to see this puppy stamped into a piece of watercolor paper. But I'm going to put these stickers on the authenticity certificates that I send with my paintings. But I just want to try it on watercolor paper. Should I try it on this one? Or should I try it on this one? What do you think? Because I just want to test it out. Maybe I should try it on this one first. Although, do I want my name on it beforehand or do I want it on afterward? I wonder if I should try it up here, because if I ended up trimming this one down, I would probably trim off some of the black. Unless, maybe if I go crazy with gold and we do the inking in gold up there, and then maybe I do have some purple ink that would go with it down there. Oh, decisions. All right, I'm going to try it on this one, just in case it doesn't work. And then I suppose I could cut off the bottom section, if so. All right, here we go. Push, 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 push. Just to make sure it gets fully... Oh! Okay, you can hardly see it. So, there's that. There's like just barely an impression at all. Just on one part of it. Maybe I need practice. Oh well. I was thinking it would be very cool if I could do that on my paintings. Because I was thinking these 5x7s that I was going to be doing. Sorry, I just realized I put that right in front of my face so you can't see me. The 5x7 paintings that I was doing, I thought would be cool if I gave it enough paper around it so that the stamp would be in the paper and then the signature would be on the painting. So that you would have it kind of pressed in there. I can't press any harder on that thing, although I suppose I could stand up and see if I could squish harder. I will practice and I'll let you know. I shall report back. But in the meantime, we do have to finish this one off, right? So this one will get finished with a gold signature. Maybe do it on the back and on a sticker. Yeah, I could probably do that too. But I was just thinking it would be very cool to do it into the border. But that little holder just does not allow me to press any harder than I did. Okay, come on, pen. Let's go. What, are you going to be annoying now or what? Apparently, we're going to be annoying. I don't know what state this poor little nib is in. It was just in a cup. Okay, that was not a very flowy signature. But it is done. And I want to thank you all for sticking with me to create this painting. Even if it's a half a painting. It was so much fun doing the finger painting portion of it. I'm going to have to do that again. And I'll have to do it in a video that's shorter so that people who don't want to watch a 2-hour video get to see that part. So, thank you so much for coming. I'm going to figure out how to tell this stream to stop, and then hopefully it will be a replay. So if you know somebody who wants some relaxation time, then have them come here and relax, listen to some music, and do a little painting with me. So if you have painted along, please do share it with me, whether you post it in ArtVenture or tag me on Instagram or Facebook or wherever. And yeah, I will see you guys again on Saturday. I have to figure out what I'm painting on Saturday. I don't know yet. But I will probably put some clips from this in there because a lot of people will have no idea if they want to watch a 2-hour or not. All right. Thank you so much for coming and painting with me. Just hanging out. Happy World Watercolor Month. And I'll see you on Saturday. All right. Where's my end button? It's right there. Okay. Bye.